What happens when the man who built an empire of music, money, and power finally faces justice? Sean Diddy Combs, the mogul who partied with presidents, ran billion-dollar brands, and called himself untouchable, has now been sentenced. But the shocking truth is this: the crimes he was convicted for are only the tip of the iceberg. They said Diddy's world was full of glamour, but behind the flashing lights, the designer suits, and the diamond chains lurked something darker. Secret rooms, hidden cameras, whispers of trafficking, and a trail of broken lives that Hollywood spent years ignoring. Why did so many powerful people protect him? Who knew about the so-called freak-off parties and stayed silent? And the biggest question of all, if Diddy has fallen, who's next? Music intensifies. A gavel slams. 50 months in prison. $500,000 in fines. But is this really justice? Or has the system buried the real truth to protect bigger names still hiding in the shadows? Because here's the twist: what the public saw in court is nothing compared to what insiders claim is still buried. Alleged tapes that could end careers, celebrity connections that could shatter reputations, and dark secrets that stretch far beyond Sean Combs himself. The story is just beginning. Sean Diddy Combs, the king of hip-hop parties, the billionaire mogul, the man who once seemed untouchable, is now facing prison walls. But the shocking truth is this: his conviction is not the full story. Behind the cameras, behind the music, and behind the billion-dollar empire lie dark secrets Hollywood never wanted you to see. Tonight, we pull back the curtain. The secrets behind the sentence. Long before the courtroom drama, Sean Combs was the poster boy of the American dream. From Harlem to Hollywood, he built Bad Boy Records into a powerhouse. He discovered the notorious B.I.G., produced hit after hit, and became a cultural icon. But with fame came whispers, parties that went too far, deals made in the dark, friends who suddenly disappeared. Was this the price of power, or the beginning of something far more sinister? Because even as Diddy climbed to the top, shadows followed him. Shadows that would later come back to testify against him in a court of law. Mini cliffhanger. His success looked flawless on the surface, but deep inside, cracks were already forming. In the mid-2000s, Diddy's empire seemed unshakable. But the gossip columns told another story. Lawsuits, assault claims, whispers of bizarre parties in hidden mansions. Every year, another rumor surfaced. Some dismissed them as jealousy. Others swore they were warnings. Then came the first explosive allegations from women who once lived inside Diddy's world. They described control, manipulation, and a man who believed he was untouchable. Still, Diddy walked free until the FBI decided to dig deeper. Mini cliffhanger. And what they uncovered would shake the industry to its core. In 2023 and 2024, Diddy's life turned into a legal battlefield. Multiple lawsuits claimed he ran underground sex-fueled parties, nicknamed freak-offs. These weren't ordinary parties. Witnesses described hidden cameras, drug use, and young women pressured into silence. Then came the raid. Federal agents stormed his homes. Laptops, tapes, and secret rooms were uncovered. And suddenly, the whispers of decades became front-page news. Some alleged that Diddy wasn't just throwing parties. He was building leverage. Tapes, recordings, and secrets that could ruin careers. The world asked, who else was on those tapes? Which celebrities, politicians, and industry giants feared exposure? Diddy denied it all. But the courtroom echoed with testimonies too dark to ignore. Mini cliffhanger. Yet the most shocking part wasn't what Diddy was accused of, it was who seemed to be protecting him. Behind the glitz of the music industry lies a hidden war of power. And Diddy was at the center of it. Rumors suggest powerful moguls knew about his dark side but stayed silent because Diddy had the receipts. Tapes, names, secrets. Was his empire built not just on music, but on blackmail? And as the FBI case grew stronger, some fans asked, did Hollywood sacrifice Diddy to protect bigger names? Because when one giant falls, another quietly benefits. Mini cliffhanger. Which makes us wonder, was this justice or a chess move? As the verdict broke, the internet exploded. Hashtags like hashtag Diddy guilty and hashtag justice for victims trended worldwide. Some fans were furious. They finally took down a black mogul, but the real predators still walk free. Others were relieved. Finally, the women are being heard. Memes, conspiracies, and viral TikToks turned the trial into digital theater. Everyone had an opinion, but underneath the laughter and the anger, one truth was clear. The world was divided. Mini cliffhanger. And division was exactly what Diddy thrived on. As the verdict broke, the internet exploded. Hashtags like hashtag Diddy guilty and hashtag justice for victims trended worldwide. Some fans were furious. They finally took down a black mogul, but the real predators still walk free. Others were relieved. Finally, the women are being heard. Memes, conspiracies, and viral TikToks turned the trial into digital theater. Everyone had an opinion, but underneath the laughter and the anger, one truth was clear. The world was divided. Mini cliffhanger. And division was exactly what Diddy thrived on. Why did Diddy risk it all? Was it greed, arrogance, or something darker? Psychologists suggest power corrupts in stages. At first, it's about control. Then, it's about dominance. And finally, it's about immortality. Diddy wasn't just chasing hits. He wanted to control people, to own moments, memories, and secrets. Jealousy fueled it. Betrayal haunted him. Every friend could be an enemy, every enemy a potential blackmail target. And yet, was he the only one? Or just the one who finally got caught? Mini cliffhanger. Because if Diddy was building an empire of secrets, who else was helping him? The big twist? Diddy was acquitted on the biggest charges: racketeering, sex trafficking. The jury let him walk on what many believed were his worst crimes. Instead, he was sentenced for something smaller: transporting women for prostitution. 50 months. $500,000. A slap compared to what the world expected. So, was this justice or a cover-up? Did the tapes vanish into evidence rooms, never to be seen? Or were they quietly locked away to protect powerful names that still run Hollywood? Mini cliffhanger. And if Diddy fell for this, what happens when the next giant falls? Diddy's story is not just about one man. It's about an industry built on secrets, silence, and shadows. 50 months behind bars may sound like justice, but insiders whisper the real story is still buried. Tapes locked in vaults, deals made in darkness, and a culture that punishes the few to protect the many. So tonight we leave you with this question. Was Diddy truly guilty of the worst crimes, or is he the scapegoat for a system darker than anyone dares admit? Because if the rumors are true, Diddy's sentence is only the beginning, and the next chapter of this scandal could bring Hollywood to its knees. Fade out. Dramatic music. Text on screen. To be continued. So here we are. Sean Diddy Combs, once the untouchable king of hip-hop, now sentenced to prison, with whispers of tapes, secrets, and scandals still swirling in the shadows. One thing is clear, this is not just about a sentence, it's about a system, a culture, and the question nobody dares to answer. Music swells. Headline flashes on screen. Do you believe Diddy is truly guilty of everything he's been accused of, or has he been sacrificed to protect names far more powerful than his? Is this justice, or the biggest Hollywood cover-up of our time? Beat. Camera zooms slightly forward. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because your voice matters in this debate, and trust me, the arguments are only getting started. Smash that like button if you think the truth should finally come out. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the next piece of this puzzle. Fade to black with a teaser headline. Next, the celebrity allies who protected him. Because this story, it's far from over. And the next chapter could blow Hollywood wide open.